how do you protect what you're doing? Because everybody has the same hustle, but everybody's excuse is different.
Yeah.
And like when you really get into the money,
yeah.
When you really, and your kids may not ask the question, but your mom or your dad or your cousin or your brother or sister may say, bro, hold on. You say you in the, what? How you get this car?
Cam, you want to know what my family thought I did? They thought I worked at a warehouse off Old National, off Sullivan Road. It was a garbage bag warehouse. They made garbage bags. I went there a long time ago to get an application and filled it out. So I used that because it was a night shift. So I was like, great, it's a night shift. This way before I even got to Magic City, I was at a club called Playboy Palace on Old National. Mm-hmm. That's where I first started, on Gobby Road. And I told my mom I worked at the garbage bag place, so she kept my kids for me at night. So it was the smart cousin who, you tell one person and that one person told...
Like Wi-Fi, like COVID.
Yeah, told one person and then somebody told my sons. Like my sons are older. So somebody told my son, you remember back in the day, you used to have a sign, like going to the West Indies, to have the strip club sign. Mm-hmm. That's where your mom worked. So from that right there, it was like, okay, it's time. My mom was pissed. My mom was pissed. She was. Because she felt like, you don't come from that. Why are you doing that? Because she have her stigma of what she think that I'm doing. But back in the day when I first started, they used to have a thing called Showtime After Dark, like a little show. One night I made my kids stay up to watch this. I didn't go to work on a Saturday. Came on Saturday nights. I wanted them to watch what they did, and I'm just being so honest. That's why me and my kids have the best relationship to this day, because I'm a very honest person. So once my mom found out, I break it down to her what I do, how I do it, this, that, and the third. She was mad for maybe a month or so, but after that, she respected what I did because I didn't have to depend on a man to take care of me. I was doing it all on my own. And I'm not one to go back to no mom that I need this, I need that, because my mama had it. She can give it to me if I wanted it. I came from a great mom, but I'm my own hustler. So at that point, I told my kids the truth. That way nobody had nothing over them.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with friends, consider what would happen if you got pulled over after a night of drinking, like the legal fees or the time in court, or a DUI on your record. Your decision to drink and drive can change someone else's world too, if you hurt or kill them in a crash. Instead, what if your decision to call a sober ride changed your world for the better? Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Nobody had nothing over them. She met my daughters. My daughters used to come to my birthday parties. I used to let them come to, not my sons, they were not allowed. But my daughters, because my daughters and me, they was older. So I let them come into that scene. I never hide who I am. And to this day, they respect who I am. If you say anything wrong, they go like, but my mama well respected. That's why I'm real respected.
I used to see her daughters come in the strip club. Like she'll have a birthday set and they'll help her pick up the money and put it in a bag.
Whatever.
Things I had never seen before. I'm like, the dynamics are totally different. For coming from Ohio, you won't understand. Like, it's like you'll be shell-shocked.
But I'd rather them see it on my angle and from my perspective of me showing it to them than the world trying to tell them something about me or them thinking what they thinking on the outside. So the first time I ever brought them, they were older. They was old enough to be in there. They was legal age, so they was able to be in there. I talked, because Magic was like a dad to me. So I used to talk to Magic, like, can I bring the girls? Like, it's my birthday set. I only trust them with my money. Can the girls come? Cool. He's like, yeah, they're my girls. They can come. So they came the first time come. My baby girl, she was at awe because she didn't know I could dance the way I danced. She didn't know, she had never seen me move like that. She know her mama can skate. She know her mama can do all that, but she never knew that I could do the moves that she was at the end of the stage. I think we were on stage. And she was just standing there. I looked down and my baby was staring up at me like this. Like, she was at
Like most men.
Yeah. She was at I'm like, Mom, you're not a back being like that. Like, I didn't know you know how to do that. Like, so they respected me a little different, but.
So for the people, and I always have to be obedient to what I may think the questions that comes from the audience, right? Do you think that was good parenting?
I do.
Why?
I think being honest with your kids, that's why the world is so many kids are lost right now, Cam, seriously. I feel like if you be honest with your kids, I taught my kids didn't know I didn't play. See, my kids were scared of me, one thing. Books come first, but I wanted them to have street sense as well. I didn't want them to be lost in the sauce. I didn't want them to be somebody telling them this how it's supposed to go. That's why I brought the girl. My sons never experienced that with me, but my daughters did. My sons knew not to come near there. Like, they weren't even thinking of nothing like that. But my daughters, I wanted them to be, I always taught them, have your own car, house, bank account, have your own credit score, need to be up to the roof. You don't depend on a man for anything. Whatever a man give you, he add to it. So being honest with my life, I gotta be honest with them with what I do, how I do it, and how I maneuver. My baby girl, the oldest girl, at 10, I taught her how to write checks. I taught her how to pay my bills. I used to teach her how to go to the bank with me and deposit money because I always felt like she was my right-hand girl. So you have to teach kids the real, not this fake. You gotta shelter them from things. That's why when a lot of kids get out here, get on drugs, they get lost. My kids all were strong-headed. They was like, oh, we've been around Uncle Jeezy. We was eating lunch with Uncle Jeezy at Benihana's way back. I was a little girl. Like, this ain't nothing new to me. You know what I'm saying? So
have that experience with your children, did that promote them to want to dance themselves?
No, it didn't. It didn't. Because I'm going to tell you this right here. When I told my kids, I always was enforced this. It's only one motherfucking dancer in here, and that's me. So we ain't doing what I do. Y'all don't have to street hustle. That's why I do what I do. You don't want for shit. My kids traveled, they did it all. I didn't miss a beat when it came to. They was in all kind of sports. They did it all. So it wasn't no reason. They dressed from head to toe, dressed to the nines. I kept them clean, kept them straight. So no, no.
I'm gonna say this. I was a super young mom, so I wasn't having the same principles as you. You know, my parents cut me off really young once I decided to have kids. So I had to do the best that I could. And a lot of those times I don't remember. I really don't. It was all a blur.
Diamond daughters. Diamond daughters.
They're so proper. They're like, my daughters are super proper, and I didn't have those talks with them. It was coming from their schoolmates. Like, do you know who your mom is?
You brought them to the job, though, to the meetings.
I did
no,
once.
They came a couple times, and they came twice. Because I remember, for some reason, they just walked up to me.
I didn't have a babysitter.
Yeah,
that's probably why.
I know, because we're not supposed to bring kids.
Because I remember the first time I brought them to a meeting.
They walked straight to me.
And I was so nervous because I was like, oh my God, they're seeing the inside of a strip club. And I didn't know how to feel about that because I didn't know anything about stripping growing up completely.
Right.
Until I got of adult age, you know, and it was a decision that I could make. But for my girls, I remember a lot of that being a blur. I did the best that I could with what I knew. But I was so young and I was making so much money independently. I was trying to prove everybody wrong. Like, yeah, you said I had to graduate from college in order to be successful, and having kids and having a boyfriend, all this is looked shunned upon. But look at me. I'm not calling you for anything. I'm not complaining about what's going on in my life. I'm good financially. I don't need my parents. I don't need my baby dad. I'm doing this all on my own. So for me, it was a really good time. And I came from Ohio, so I was never around celebrities. When you work in Magic City, it's celebrities every day, all day. You could be a Tuesday and the biggest person is gonna come in there. You just don't know. And so I had to navigate by watching people like OG and Sugar and Promise and a few other people. And a lot of them even married like professional athletes and they were like respectable. So I really got underneath them.
How did you, I know India spoke about it, but how did you mask what you was actually doing to not just your daughters, but to your family?
I didn't mask it. I continued in my hustle.
What did they think you were doing?
They knew what I was doing. I'm a terrible liar. I'm not good at lying at all. So they knew what I was doing, and they didn't want anything to do with it. And then when I finally got to a point where I felt like I was mature enough and I felt like I was like great in my hustle, when India left, I felt like I was #1 in my hustle. So I was able to share that and say, hey, yeah, this is what I do, but I'm the best at it, you know, and this is the respect I get from it. So that was more of my delivery.